What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Let's Talk Poker Show. I am your host. I am Poker, where all we do here is basically just talk poker. Whatever comes to mind, whatever's on the agenda, it's all poker based. So thank you for joining me. This is the fourth episode of the Let's Talk Poker Show. This episode is currently being recorded on November the 6th, 2022. It will be set to release on Monday, November the 7th. I hope that you guys are having or have had a very good and successful weekend. If you're a poker fan and you're watching this or poker player, I hope that you've been killing it on a poker field, and I hope that all is well with you and yours. How are you guys doing? Just out of curiosity, are you guys doing good? Are you guys blessed? Um, I hope that your weekend has been going well and good. If it has not, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'll be praying for you, and hopefully the next weekend will be even better and whatnot. As for myself, I've had a pretty decent weekend. I actually had to work on my jobs on Saturday for a couple of hours, about a 8-hour shift I had to do. Normally, we don't normally work on Saturdays, but every now and then, when something big comes up, or we have to cover some extra work, we end up having to come in. So I had to do like a 8-hour shift on Saturday, but it was a breeze. It was all good. The other thing, I guess, intriguing or interesting that happened, I joined Poker Bros, the app. If none of you guys really know what Poker Bros is basically a poker app that holds a lot of poker clubs for you to come on there and join. It's a pretty popular app, pretty popular company when it comes to poker. I joined the app basically, and I also joined a poker club on there. It goes by the name of the Bear Cave Poker Club. Once again, it's called the Bear Cave Poker Club. Shouts out to them. Shouts out to Poker Bros. My experience thus far has been tremendous and great. I played my first tournament under the new club that I joined on Saturday. I finished in 49th place out of almost 300 players that participated in this tournament. I think the guaranteed prize pool was like $15,000, I believe. It was a guaranteed of 15,000. And out of 300 some players, I finished in 49th place, won a little bit of money. It was a great experience. I enjoyed my time playing in the tournament. It was very competitive and also patient driven. Had to be very patient in certain spots, but you know, I did good. I think I represented the club well for it being my first time playing with the club, and I look forward to more and more poker success with the club and just with the Poker Bros app as well. Poker Bros, like I said, they're a very popular app for holding poker clubs and stuff on there. They have some very notable poker players that they also sponsor with their app as well. So once again, shouts out to Poker Bros. Shouts out to the Bear Cave Club that I joined. Shouts out to poker in general. With that being said, let me see, because I got my notes here, so I want to make sure I follow everything on point. All right, so I'm gonna go into the first topic that I want to discuss with you guys, especially people that are poker fans and poker players. I'm sure you guys can relate to this first topic. So you have live poker play, which is basically when you go to a live poker event, whether it's a cash game or just a regular tournament game, but it's a live event where you sit down with real players, real people, and you play poker tournaments or cash games or whatever, that you choose to do. Then you have online poker play. Basically, you do the same thing, but it's online. You playing with real people mostly. For the most part, you should be. If you're playing with certain software and certain tournaments and stuff that only allow, just for real players from around the world, countries, whatever, to play online. So you have that aspect. So my question is to you guys that play online or live poker games or both, which one do you prefer? Are you more of a online poker? Are you are you more of an online poker player, or do you enjoy playing live? Or do you guys play both and just whatever that you feeling? Some people are more so pro live play, and then some people mostly only play online. As for myself, I like both. When I got into poker, I started out playing live, meaning I would go to my local poker tournaments, poker areas that held special poker events, and I would go there and I would play, and I enjoyed that experience. And then it wasn't until later on, after playing poker for a long time, that I started diving into playing online. I used to be afraid to play online because I wasn't really familiar with the play and how it worked and stuff like that, and it was a little bit intimidating. So I just kind of really just stuck to playing live for a long time, and then what happened? I think I want to say was the pandemic that may have happened that made me focus more so online. It may have been that, and I think it also was because I looked at online poker as also a way of possibly making better income, maybe something of the sort. I know that had a little bit to do with it, but in any case, I venture off and I start playing online and learning how to get familiar with playing and more comfortable with it, if anything. And I enjoy playing online. I really do. I really do enjoy playing online. Like I say, for me, I don't really have. I don't really consider one over the other. Now there are some differences, or maybe one major difference, and the major difference is when you play live, you're able to sit there with your opponent or opponents, and you're able to really look at them, see them. It's a different atmosphere when you're playing live because you're playing with live people, so you're able to notice certain things if you really pay attention. If you're one of those players that really pay attention to player movements, player body language, and stuff of that nature, the atmosphere is just a little different. The feel is different because you're there with actual people, and you never know what one is thinking when they are looking at you or focusing on you in a certain hand, trying to get certain what they call tells and reads, which is basically anything that they can look at you physically to find a certain weakness or something that they can use against you to help their play when they're playing you in a certain hand. So I would say that's the biggest difference, because when you're online playing, you can't see. I can't see you. You can't see me. So I can do whatever, and your how can I put it? Your thinking really has to you're being more challenged mentally when you're playing online than anything, because being that you don't have the actual luxury of watching your opponent and seeing certain patterns and stuff. Now mentally you have to really just kind of go into the mind of what you think they may be holding as far as the hands go, what they may be thinking. Like, you almost got to kind of guess and figure out through certain other avenues online that you really wouldn't have to do when you're playing live, because you're actually sitting there in front of them. So the experience factor and really being able to engage with your opponent comes more into play, and it gives you, for some players at least, it gives them a certain leg up on how to play certain people at the table, compared to when you're online. You really gotta kind of guess, figure out, and find some other ways mentally, and also which is how they playing their hands online to really get inside that person's mind on what they may be having and how to actually play them. So that would be the only major difference for me that I see in that, but I do enjoy playing both. These days, at least as of lately, I've been more engaged to playing online. I do plan on getting back out and playing live here locally, and because I do enjoy live play, and it's more of a challenge somewhat because of what I said of the biggest difference between playing live and playing online. But I definitely plan on doing that. So if you're a poker player or fan of poker or both, and you really play poker like I do, I would really love your comments in the comment section on what you feel is your play of choice. Are you more of an online player or a live player or both? Just kind of just break that down and explain to me which one that you prefer doing. That would be greatly appreciated. With that being said, I want to give a shout out to all 91 subscribers, hopefully, that are watching this episode. I want to thank you guys for your overwhelming support of my channel. And everything. It means so much to me. I currently have 91 subscribers in a matter of just a few weeks of even doing this whole channel thing. As I stated in episodes before, me just doing this was really just something for me to come out of my shell and just try something new and do it with something that I enjoy doing, which is playing poker. And so far, the response that I'm getting from the viewers and people watch times and watching this and leaving comments and stuff, it really fills my heart with joy. So I thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Trying to get that 100 subscribers, because I think that would be even a huge accomplishment just to do that in the way that I've been able to do it. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Continue to follow me on this journey and help me to continue to make this show even a better show and a bigger success than what it is now. So from the bottom of my heart, thank each and every one of you, and keep supporting the channel. Speaking of supporting the channel, if you are not subscribed, please, as I'm trying to get to this 100 milestone of subscribers, please help me subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscribe button first off. That's the first thing. Then once you do that, this is very, very important, more important maybe than even just hitting the subscribe button, but hit the notification bell. Once you hit the notification bell, hit the all selection. Once you hit the all selection, that guarantees that you get all my posts, all my videos. Even if I do something called YouTube Shorts, you get that too. Whatever content I put out, it's guaranteed that you will get it. So it's very important that you subscribe, and more importantly, hit the notification bell, hit all. That way I know that I'm going to have you to get whatever content that I put out. Also, like this video. You know, normally when on my videos, when I say like the video, I come up with a goal. I say I want to get 1,000 likes. Well, I haven't been able to get 1,000 likes. I've got a lot of likes, but not 1,000. So let's scale it back. Let's go for maybe a more reasonable goal with the likes. I would like to get 500 likes on this video, if that's possible. So if you're watching this and you're enjoying what you're seeing right now, please hit go just one click. That's all it takes. One click. Hit that like button. Hit it. Help me get to 500 likes. That would be such a great milestone, and I would greatly appreciate it. So like this video. Okay? Now, moving on to the second topic of the day. If you're a poker fan, if you're in the poker know and you watch poker as much as I do, you are familiar with a lot of the greats that have poker when you talk about people like Phil Ivey, Daniel Negreanu, Antonio Espinari, and I'm sure I'm butchering his last name, but for those who are familiar, you know who I'm talking about. Phil Locke. There are a lot of other players, okay? Phil Hellmuth is another one. Phil Hellmuth, if I'm pronouncing it, which I'm sure I am. Phil Hellmuth. He is a very popular poker player for good and bad reasons, but nonetheless, he is considered, I would think, by most people as one of the greats of poker. Now, he's not the greatest human being. A lot as he is known for his great poker play, he's also known for his polarizing image as far as how he treat players at the table. He's somebody that when he doesn't have an advantage at the table, or when he's getting bad beats, or when certain players are just getting the best of him at the table, he doesn't take it well. It's been well documented how he berates players and say certain things, and that really turns a lot of people off from him because of that. Even with all of his achievements and his what's the word I'm looking for? All his accolades and stuff like that. All of his accolades and his accomplishments, it turns people away from that because of his attitude on the poker field. So he's not the greatest person in the world, but he's a hell of a great poker player, at least in my opinion. So my question to you is, with all the, and this is really for people who really follow poker and know a lot of the great poker players, and understand who's who, who's not, all this stuff. Do you consider Phil Hellmuth as one of, not the, but as one of the greatest players of all time? Once again, do you consider Phil Hellmuth as one of the greatest poker players of all time? I do. Now, again, I know that this could be a very hot button topic because Phil is not the greatest. He's not the greatest person in the world. Some people would say when he's on camera and he's in these high stake poker games and poker tournaments, he does a lot of it for show and all this kind of stuff. And then some people say it's really him. That passion, if you want to call it that he brings out, that can sometimes rub people the wrong way and be very disrespectful. It's really him. Whether it's him or not, you can't deny with the guy's success. And I'm one of those people, you have good people, you have bad people. You have bad people out there that are very gifted, very successful, and doing well for themselves. And I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think that a person's flaws or the I don't think a person's flaws or the ugliness of that person should take away from whatever blessings or whatever success that God has put upon them. I don't think they should take away from that, at least in my opinion. Now, I can see maybe it kind of overshadowing the goodness of what they're doing. I can see their terrible attitude, their terrible nature of living, all that stuff. I can see it kind of overshadowing, what they have accomplished in life. But I don't think it takes away from it because, even with bad people, there's some good there that you can take away. I don't think there's really, well, maybe there is. I was gonna say I don't think there's one bad person in the world that may be evil and so mean that you can't find one good thing to say about them if they were to die today. But then again, maybe you can't. I don't know. I don't really think so. But my point is, even with the negative that comes with Phil Hellmuth as a person and as a professional, his stats speak for themselves, in my opinion. This guy, and I got my notes here because I don't want to screw this up. Even with a Hall of Fame legend like him, this guy has a total record in poker of 16 total World Series of Poker bracelets. Let me tell you, winning anything in poker is a challenge, and it's not easy. And to do it on one of the biggest or the biggest stage, if anybody knows poker, the World Series of Poker is like the Super Bowl. It's like the Super Bowl of poker, and it's the biggest thing in poker, the biggest event in poker. And anytime you can win not one, two, three, but 16 bracelets, going through many different types of fields, as far as the amount of people that play in these tournaments, and you win 16 in your career, that's saying something. Okay, and anybody, whether it's Phil or any poker player that can win more than one bracelet, multiple bracelets, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, whatever, that's an accomplishment in my book. And that in its own, to me, makes him one of the greatest poker players, because you're not just winning some bracelets, but you're doing it in the biggest stage of poker. Like I say, poker, the World Series of Poker is the biggest stage of poker, period. Okay? And if you can do that, to me, that's saying something. So he has 16 World Series of Poker bracelets. He also won the main event of the World Series of Poker in 1989, so that was ages ago, but still, that's a feat and that's an accomplishment to be mentioned as one of the winners of the greatest and biggest event of all time, which is the World Series of Poker. Salute to him. He has some of these stats. Some of these stats that I'm about to mention may have changed. They may have actually updated, and they may have changed, but maybe not by much. But right now, from what I see, from what my notes give me, he has 64 final tables at the World Series of Poker. Currently 64. So again, at the World Series of Poker, to do that, that's just phenomenal. Okay, the WPT, which is the World Poker Tour, a very popular event, popular place to play. They hold a lot of events and tournaments as well. He has 5 final tables in the WPT and 18 money finishes, meaning he didn't win the tournaments, but he finished in the money, meaning if he lost, he got out in a certain place where you win money prizes. So at least he got that. All right. Something else I want to highlight here real quick. Besides, winning those and countless of other tournaments and things that he may have participated in and won or placed in, he also, where is it? I know he has, a stat for cashes, and I had it here in front of me, but now I don't. I can't find it at the moment, but I would say he's also a pretty good heads up player, as well. What is that stat at that I want to find? He participated in 2007. Is it 2007 or 2008? In the National Heads Up Poker Championship, I remember that. He played a couple of years in that tournament. He lost to Tom Dwan, which a lot of you that follow poker, if you know, Tom Dwan is a very famous and accomplished poker player. At that time, he was more so, I think, of a upstart. I think he was somebody that was kind of new on the scene, and he beat Phil Hellmuth in a hand. And the biggest highlight was that the biggest highlight was not that Tom Dwan beat him and put him out the heads up tournament, but it was more so of Phil Hellmuth's reaction, basically saying that the guy wasn't. he got lucky, and that he wasn't even gonna have a career in poker. And years later, he's one of the biggest stars and the biggest the biggest players in poker. You know what I'm saying? Since then. So yeah. But in 2013, he finished second place, coming with Mike Mattersow, which is another legend in poker. He actually beat him in the finals of that heads up event. Also, excuse me. Also, the Poker Go. If you're familiar with Poker Go, they are a poker station app or whatever that features a lot of poker tournaments and poker tournaments of their own that are sponsored by them as well. They they have an event called High Stakes Duel poker event, as it's basically a heads up format, basically, where players they play heads up, and it's a lot more to it than as far as the rules go. But that's basically what it is. It's a heads up battle, basically, between two people that play for money, prizes, etc., etc. Since they started that, Phil Hellmuth pretty much highlighted it starting out. He beat in a couple of rounds Antonio Esfanari, however you say his last name, which he's also known as a pretty big deal in poker as well. One of the most noticeable wins that he got in that was from Daniel Negreanu. That's another poker legend. That guy is good. He's great in what he does. I love his play. He's best known for he's able to read your hand better than you are. Basically, Daniel Negreanu can sit at a poker table and he can tell you just about what you're holding, what kind of hand that you have. And for the most part, he can be very, very accurate with that. So, beating a guy like Daniel Negreanu in heads up play, that's also big. He beat a guy named Nick Wright, not a very popular poker player. He does play poker, but he's a analyst, a sports analyst or whatnot. For First Things First, I believe. And if I got that wrong, somebody correct me in the comment section. But I know he's basically into sports analysts. He be a lot in sports shows, talking about sports and stuff like this. So he's more of a sports person. Am I missing somebody? So them names, and he also played Tom Dwan. I know Tom Dwan won one round, and I think Phil came back and beat him another round. I don't really know how that actually ended because I kind of got caught up in some other stuff and I kind of stopped watching it. But yeah. So I say all this to say he's very good in heads up play. I think the significant thing about that was that that was a big debate if Phil Hellmuth could really hang with some of these guys in a high stakes situation, in a heads up situation, and he actually did. The last time I saw and checked, he was doing very, very well. He surprised a lot of people that really think that his style of play of poker will be able to contend with some of these top pros. A lot of reason for that was because nowadays a lot of these poker players are using they're using GTO things, solvers, basically that they're using things and metrics and also some form of technology things or whatnot to help them better their chances of learning hands, certain kind of structures on basically being a better poker player and knowing when to call for things of that nature. So he's more of an old school player. He doesn't necessarily use that stuff. He's been on record of saying that he doesn't necessarily denounce it or speak against it. It's just never been his thing. But he's been very heavily criticized for not kind of using what today's structure and metrics and form of information is now that kind of helps poker players now get a leg up on certain people at the poker table. He's been criticized for not conforming to that, but once again, he showed people, hey, he's Phil Hellmuth. He's been playing a certain way for years, and that's the way that he's gonna roll with it. And hey, if it's not broke, why fix it? So yeah. So all in all, I conclude this by saying Phil Hellmuth, to me, is one of the greatest poker players in poker history. His energy and his attitude at times does suck. And there's no excuse for that, because at the end of the day, we are human beings. And yes, you be in a poker tournament. I understand that emotions run high and certain things happen, because poker is a roller coaster, and it's a very emotional roller coaster. And if you don't have your emotions in check, if you're not able to deal with that, yeah, you can say and do some pretty messed up things that you really shouldn't be doing, and that can very much have an effect on how people view you at any poker table and at any poker casino. But with that being said, that doesn't take away from Phil's ability to play some of the greatest poker that I've ever seen a poker player play, in spite of his antics, in spite of his bad attitudes, etc., etc. So, once again, my question to you is: do you consider Phil Hellmuth as one of the greatest poker players of all time, in spite of his attitude, in spite of all the craziness that he comes with, that is not tasteful at the poker table? So let me know. One last thing I will add to this is that a guy by the name of Eric Person. He's a poker player. He also owns some casinos. Phil Hellmuth played him on this Poker Go heads up thing that I mentioned, and basically got his Phil Hellmuth got his ass handed to him, basically, by Eric Persons. But one of the highlights of this was not so much the play, was that Eric Person basically gave him a piece of his own medicine. Not only did he beat his ass in this poker heads up thing, but he talked a lot of trash to him. Like, he basically treats Phil Hellmuth like Phil treats a lot of other players when he's going on his rants and stuff, and he didn't let up. It was not for TV. It was very good and entertaining to watch. But to a lot of people in general as well, they felt like Phil got what he deserved because of how he treats people, and to actually watch it on live TV with another player who was a very good poker player and is a very good poker player, but can also talk the same shit and dish it back out to him. People really love that. So again, you got to be careful how you treat people in any profession, in any business, period. But when you're good, you're good. When you're great, you're great. When you're gifted, you're gifted. None of that, to me, none of the bad whatever bad vibes takes away from your accomplishments in life, at least in my opinion, because your accomplishments and your gift, they're there for a reason, and you don't have to like the person, but I can respect what they've accomplished if it's real and it's legit. So leave me your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you for joining me once again on another great episode of the Let's Talk Poker Show. I am your host. I am Poker. Follow me on not Twitter. Follow me on IG. I need to get a Twitter, but follow me on IG under I am Poker 81. Once again, that is under IG I am Poker 81. My channel, my YouTube channel, I am Poker 81. It's also under the same name on my YouTube. I am Poker 81. And please, if you like this episode, which I hope that you do, subscribe. Help me get to that 100 subscribers. Subscribe to the channel. That's the first part of it. Hit the notification button. That's the second part. And more importantly, once you hit the notification bell, hit the word all. That guarantees you get all my content on YouTube, and that's very, very important to me. And also, like this video. Please like this video. Help me get to 500 or more likes from this video. I appreciate everybody's continued support. Hope that you have a great week, a great Monday. God bless you all. Peace.